Hello, you're watching Eye on Africa. I'm James Creedon. These are our headlines from across the continent this evening. Words to worry South African. Cyril Ramaphosa has said a coronavirus storm has arrived with the numbers of cases surpassing 400,000. We'll bring you a full roundup of how Africa's worst hit country is coping. And a report from Algeria about the closure of all non-essential shops there to combat COVID-19. It's a major blow for businesses who were counting on a key week in the retail calendar with the Eid holiday around the corner. And in Ivory Coast, we'll take a look at an attempt to clean up a district in Abidjan, seen as one of the most troubled spots in the city. But with elections looming, some see the move as superficial, and all in a bid to gain votes. We'll take a closer look at that later on in the show. Thanks for watching. Now we'll start in South Africa, where the government is now pulling out all the stops to limit the spread of the coronavirus. President Ramaphosa has used strong and worrying language in a bid to jolt the population into high alert. Schools are now to be shut down for another month, backtracking on a June decision to progressively resume classes. The country is the worst affected in Africa and is now the fifth worst affected globally. Laurent Berstecker has more.
A country in the midst of a coronavirus storm. Those were the words used by President Cyril Ramaphosa as South Africa confirmed over 400,000 COVID-19 cases nationwide.
Since I last addressed the nation 11 days ago, more than 130,000 new coronavirus cases have been confirmed. South Africa now has the fifth highest number of confirmed corona cases in the whole world.
In an effort to curb the spread of the virus, Ramaphosa announced schools would be closed for the next month. Authorities had allowed some classes to resume in June, but have since faced growing pressure from teachers' unions, which denounced a hasty decision. The government also said last week that face masks would now be mandatory in all public spaces, and in the streets of Johannesburg, most people seemed to comply with the new rule.
If I see a person who is not wearing a mask, I'll just say, put on your mask. Put on your mask to prevent this disease, for both of us to be safe.
With over 6,000 confirmed COVID-19 related deaths, South Africans are finding it increasingly difficult to bury their dead. All week, dozens of mourners lined up outside cemeteries and funeral parlors across the country to bid a final farewell to their loved ones.
And the coronavirus situation in Algeria continues to deteriorate. This Thursday saw a new daily record in cases. Authorities have issued new rules this week, including the closure of all non-essential shops. This is another big blow to the country's store owners who were counting on next week's Eid holiday to boost sales. Wasim Cornet has the story.
It's another big hit to business owners here in the city of Tlemcen. While some Algerian regions had seen lockdown measures partially eased in recent weeks, the government has now decided to order the closure of all non-essential shops nationwide as the country continues to see a surge of coronavirus cases. Some here in the city center say they will obey these new rules, while others are pointing their finger at inconsistencies on the part of authorities.
الناس قارها محترمة هذه الإجراءات سواء تاجر سواء مواطن.
احنا راه كاين مرض ماذا بينا سيدي احنا كاع نبلعوا وماذا بينا الوباء يرتفع علينا بصح كاين اجراءات نبلعوا هذا ونبلعوا هذا ونبلعوا بلاص خادم ونخلوهم لهيه.
Authorities are growing increasingly worried ahead of the all-important Eid al-Adha holiday. The festival of sacrifice is usually a time when family and friends get together. This year, that's something the government wants to limit as much as possible. But so far, though, the sale of sheep ahead of the holiday is going smoothly.
نروحوا اللي يلتزم اللي ما يلتزمش ما عندنا مدانا ليه.
والله الحمد لله تسمى كاينه الاجراءات الوقائيه كاينه الحمد لله تسمى الاسعار في المتناول.
More than 1,100 people have died from the coronavirus in Algeria since March, one of the hardest hit countries in Africa.
Now, it's peaks and troughs, and where some countries are ratcheting up their measures, others are relaxing them, such as in DR Congo. Bars and restaurants filled up in the capital, Kinshasa, after months of restrictions. Let's take a look.
lelo na ye kokutana bango na kofete na bango na ngola nzambe mais so total parce que ba miso ebele bakufi baleki bango bakufi baleki nga pe lelo hotel ba pomba musu bango baleki nga mais nga pe na leki bango mais nzambe ayebisi nazwi bango molimo na bango mais lelo na remercie nzambe mpo Félix afungoli babare nyonso tu baactivité nyonso ezongi.
C'est un peu difficile pour nous parce qu'on est resté 4 mois à la maison. Nous ici à Kinshasa, on est habitués d'être ensemble, de se serrer les mains, mais ce serait un peu difficile que pendant ces moments de déconfinement, qu'on garde la même attitude de rester trop loin des amis, de ne pas se serrer les bras. C'est un peu difficile pour nous. Alors je vais conseiller aux gens que chacun de nous puisse respecter les gestes barrières.
Now, time for some other news stories from across the continent. The UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights has warned Zimbabwe against using COVID-19 as a pretext for restricting freedoms. An award-winning journalist, Hopewell Chinono, was arrested and has been denied bail. All this for planning an anti-graft protest targeting the government at the end of this month. He was accused of conspiring with an opposition politician to rally that anti-government demonstration. Jacob Ingaravume was also arrested by the authorities. Sudan's public prosecutor says authorities have found a mass grave believed to contain the bodies of 28 army officials. They were shot in a foiled coup attempt against the former President Omar al-Bashir in 1990. It was the second mass grave uncovered in as many months from the Omar al-Bashir era. He was ousted by the military after months of street protests last year. The former Tanzanian President Benjamin Mkapa has died, aged 81. He was the country's third president after independence from Britain and ruled for 2 terms from 1995 to 2005. After leaving office, he remained active, taking part in mediation talks in Kenya in 2007-2008. He was hailed by many as a peacemaker in East Africa. Now, amid a pandemic, life and love must go on. In Nigeria, dating apps are being used by more and more people, with bars still shut down in Africa's most populous country. The world of online dating has seen a big boost. This report from Lagos.
I can swim well, but I just can't be going to a pool every day.
Oreoluwa is chatting to a young woman online. Many of Lagos's bars are closed because of the pandemic, and Nigerians like him are flocking to dating apps.
The dating thing, like during this restriction, it works perfectly for me because I'm really an indoors person. I'm not the type of person that would go out and stay out. Like, I like coming back home. I like my bed. I like my house. I'm safe. I'm comfortable here.
This is the office of the Vibe company that set up Oreoluwa's date. With the coronavirus, business is booming.
Coronavirus has weirdly been good for us, because I think a lot of more people, like because of the restrictions about going around and how they can interact with people, like they've turned online for solutions. So we've had like a lot of growth. We've had like a 30% growth in user registration on the app.
Another online dating company, Lagos Matchmaker, has met with the same success.
Lounges are closed. People can't meet for first dates unless they meet at people's homes and locations, which people didn't feel was really safe. So we decided to do something that had to do with online dating so people could meet and have first dates online.
The boom in dating apps shows that despite movement restrictions and social distancing, in Africa's most populous nation, the need to connect has far from disappeared.
It's the weekend. Watch a movie or something.
Next to Ivory Coast, and a report about the sprawling district of Abobo in the economic capital Abidjan. It has a bad reputation, neglected by the authorities for many years. Buildings are often in disrepair and certain streets are seen as no-go areas. But with presidential elections less than 4 months away, the mayor, who is also the defence minister, has launched an operation to smarten up Abobo. Now, crumbling buildings have been restored, walls have been painted in bright colours, streets are being cleaned up, but is it all just an election ploy? Our correspondents Thais Broek and Sam Bradpiece went to find out.
The Abobo commune is getting a makeover. One by one, the buildings are stripped down, scrubbed and then repainted. The grayscale soul of this place has been invigorated with bright splashes of colour. Many residents are loving the new look.
Bobo est très resté derrière. On parle à Bobo la guerre, à Bobo temps, mais si à Bobo se change comme ça, c'est ce que nous préférons. On a besoin de changer d'image d'Abobo.
The majority Muslim population here suffered much violence during Ivory Coast 2010-11 post-electoral crisis. Even though it is now a government stronghold, it had been neglected for many years. Ahmed Bakayoko, a loyal supporter of President Alassane Ouattara, was elected mayor in 2018.
C'est vrai que les populations d'Abobo ne sont pas des populations très nanties, mais cela n'implique pas qu'on ne peut pas avoir un cadre de vie sain, propre et beau.
Less than 4 months from the presidential elections, the charm offensive is timely. Back in February, there was another development, the country's first contemporary art museum, a cultural gem in the heart of Abidjan's poorest commune.
Ce musée apporte une plateforme à tous ces artistes qui viennent de la commune, parce qu'à Bobo, c'est vraiment un nid d'artistes. Ça va donner une raison aussi aux gens de venir à Bobo pour des raisons culturelles.
But are the recent changes in Abobo, which is blighted by all kinds of insecurity, merely skin deep? Step away from the main crossroads and things look much the same as before.
Les autres seront un peu frustrés parce qu'il y a des immeubles qui sont peints et d'autres ne sont pas encore peints dans les ruelles.
Bon, c'est pas suffisant parce que pour nous, c'est pas la peinture là qu'on va manger. Il faut que les choses bougent pour que nous soyons à l'aise.
It will take more than a lick of paint to change the daily lives of many in Abobo, but this could be the beginning of a renaissance.
All right, tonight's show was produced by Maya yet again. Thanks for watching and good night.